Hi friends, Lori here. I'm back to start another reading vlog. So I've had a little bit of a struggle reading recently. I read some books that just didn't wow me and put me in a little bit of a reading slump. So I'm gonna go back to some tried and true favorites, some books that have been on my TBR for years. I'm deviating from my TBR a little bit, just because I have had some of these books on my TBR for like years. So when I finish the current book I'm reading, I will pick another one from that list. I have about 6 books on that list. So the first book I'm going to start, and I'm actually in the middle of reading, is Born Wicked by Jessica Spotswood. This is a witchy read. It's been on my TBR for at least 4 to 5 years. I got this when I was still shopping from Book Outlet, probably one of my first Book Outlet orders. But yeah, I'm going to give you guys an update when I make a bit more progress. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I want to do a quick update. I am going to craft for a lot of the day. I do have to get some Christmas crafting done. I make these like calendars. I think I've showed them in my past reading vlogs, but that's sort of my focus. I did also make a little bit of listening progress to a Southern Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I have about 5 hours left for that. It's very gory, which is not normally what I read, but it also has a small time element, a book club. There's a vampire in the midst, which I'm really enjoying. I also read about 28 pages of Born Wicked by Jessica Spotswood. I don't feel like I can talk enough about this book because I've only read like 28 pages, but there are 3 sisters. They live in a small town. Wizardry and witchcraft is not allowed, and you have 3 young witches. Their mother died recently. You have the older sister. I think her name's, I don't even know what her name is. I think it's Cass. I think that's her name. And she is very adamant she does not want to be a witch. Her sisters are very, like, opposite. Their world's about to be turned on their head a little bit because a governess is going to come into town, and they're always afraid of more people, like, being around them because if their magic is uncovered, it could lead to a lot of bad situations. I've only read about 28 pages of this. I'm also listening to morbid episodes. I'm just trying to get my Christmas crafting on because I have a lot of stuff going on in December. A lot of stuff I need to do in December. So I want to make sure my Christmas crafting is done and my Christmas shopping is done. So I'm going to go back to Christmas crafting. My goal is to work on 2 calendars today, to like finish this one and work on one more. So when I'm done with that, I'll give you guys a check-in. Bye, friends. Lori here, I'm back. I wound up finishing 2 calendars this weekend, which I think is quite impressive because I've really been slacking on that. I also read a little bit more of the Grady Hendrix book I'm in the middle of reading. I will probably finish that early in the week. But right now, I'm going to dive back in and read a little bit more of Born Wicked, try to catch up on my YouTube videos, which is always a long, tedious project. So I'm going to watch a few videos. When I get up to page 50 or around there, I'll give you guys a more solid update because we haven't done that yet. And I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up getting up to page 52 in Born Wicked by Jessica Spotswood. I'm really liking this book right off the bat. It is a witchy read. You basically follow this set of sisters, but the main point of view character you have is Catherine. She's an older sister. She is really hesitant in using magic. Magic in this society is punishable by death. There is a brotherhood that's sort of watching everything and watching the thing they do. And if you're accused of witchcraft, you're sent to like a detention camp. But this family is very powerful. And Catherine is the one of the sisters that doesn't really like using magic like her sisters. She's a little bit shyer, a little bit more reserved. And she has to protect her sisters. Her dad is a little bit, her dad and her are also dealing with the grief of losing their mother the last couple of years. She's in the possibility of getting married off. There's also a letter that was sent to her that's saying she's in danger. I read about 50 pages. There's also romance possibilities on the horizon. I know what is going to happen. I am going to fall for the wrong love interest. Always happens when I read older YA. I always fall for the nice, sweet guy, and he never gets chosen. But I do like him right off the bat. I've only seen him like a couple pages, but I think he's a fun character. So hopefully I am proven wrong and I actually like the love interest in this book, but we'll see. But yeah, so I read about 50 pages and that's what's happening. I just wanted to do a quick update. It is Sunday here. I also spent most of the day score crafting and scrapbooking. Also, YouTube Cube update. I have about, let's see, I have about 41 videos left. So I've really been crafting a lot and watching a lot of morbid or listening to a lot of morbid episodes as I've been crafting. But that is my update for the moment. My goal is to make read at least 50 more pages tonight, if not at least 100 pages. I do want to watch some creepy and spooky things. I haven't really done that this whole season, so that's also a goal for this week. But yeah, so I will talk to you guys when I read a little bit more of Born Wicked, and we'll chat then. Bye, friends. Blurry hair, I'm back. I did wind up reading the first 100 pages in Born Wicked, and I feel like I could give you guys a little bit more of a solid update. But basically, you follow this trio of characters. The main character is Kat. She is the oldest sister, and she feels a lot of pressure. She's in a society, I think I said in the previous clip, where magic is not allowed. Being a witch is not allowed, and if you are a witch, you're basically murdered. And she's a very powerful witch. She has mind magic. And her mother died the year before, so they're sort of dealing with the aftermath of that. And there's also constant people that are being taken out of their community. And there's also a potential prophecy that is making it seem like this sister duo might bring about the reemergence of witchcraft. It also reminds me of reading like a historical fiction novel, like the Regency romances I read, because it's talking a lot about marriage and following what men want you to do. So it's very much reading me like a historical romance. I really do like the witchcraft elements, and I think because the main character is so powerful but really afraid of her magic, she's a really, really interesting character to be. And you also have a new character, their governess, which I have some thoughts about her. I don't want to say it in this reading vlog in case I'm right, but I'm curious about the governess. I don't know if she's necessarily what they think she is or who she really is. There's also a potential mystery in regarding a letter that she got from her mother before her mother died. And I'm really intrigued. I'm really liking it. I've heard some mixed things about this book, as people have reread it, but sort of looking at it through a witchcraft element, I really do like it. And I love the Regency elements as well that it's sort of reminding me of. So my goal is to read another 100 pages before I go to bed. It's not even 7 o'clock, so I should be able to do it. I'm also trying to get down my net, my YouTube queue. I have 30 more videos left. I definitely won't finish them all tonight, but I will give you guys an update when I read about 50 more pages. Bye, friends. Just wanted to check in. It's about 8 o'clock. I wound up reading up to page 141 in Born Wicked. I probably could have read a little bit more, but I want to watch something eerie and creepy on TV. I don't know what it's going to be quite yet, but I will check in with you guys tomorrow. Tuesday is my easier day at work. I do have to stay later tomorrow because it's a PD day. I have not done this PD day yet, so I'm not sure what it's going to entail. It's also performance week at my school that my kids are doing performances, so hopefully it also means I have to act. So they have to tell their stories and I have to act. So I'm gonna rest my voice a little bit and sort of get into the mindset for that. But I'm flying through this book. I really am liking it. I hope the romance goes the way that I think it's going to go, because older YA series never go the way that I want it to. It always goes a way I don't want it to, but I have some hopes that it will go the way I want. There's also some side characters in this book that I'm just really, really loving. And I just love the system of magic and the characters. It really does remind me of reading a Regency romance, which I have been getting into the last couple of years. So yeah, I will check in with you guys tomorrow and update you guys what spooky thing I watched. Bye, friends. Here, I'm back. Today was one of my late days. I had to stay a little bit later and have a meeting. But I am pleased to report that I did wind up getting up to page 200 in Born Wicked by Jessica Spotswood. I'm really liking this book quite a bit. I really didn't know what I was supposed to expect in this read, but it's a book that I'm really enjoying. It has one of my potential favorite romance tropes that I always look for in my paranormal reads, and it's so hard to find that. So I'm really liking that. I'm also really liking the characters and the world building that is being established. But yeah, I'm really liking this. It's a very, very quick read too. I like the focus on the sisterhood, but also the world and the characters are expanding. It's just a great read. It's going in a direction I didn't necessarily expect in one way, but then it was a little bit predictable in like a different way. So I'm really liking it though. But I'm gonna read a little bit more when I get up to page 250. I'll give you guys another update and also give you guys a time check. Again, it's back to work I go, so I'll probably go to bed a little bit earlier tonight. Last night I watched an episode of Beyond on Disney Plus, and I also watched a couple of episodes of Scaredy Cats just because they're very, very fun and they're very, very like Halloweeny, and I'm trying to watch a few more Halloween shows. But my goal for today is to make some more progress on my YouTube queue, so that's the plan. But when I read a little bit more of this, I'll definitely give you guys an update. Bye, friends. One, two, three. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Lori here. I'm back. It is Tuesday. It's very late. It's about 8 o'clock. I had to go to a meeting after work. I got approved for something in my theater work life, and I had to go to a meeting explaining the procedures of the project that I'm going to be involved in. I'm really excited. It should be super fun for my kids. Virtual learning has been hard content wise, theater teacher wise. So anything new and exciting I can show them and share with them, I'm thrilled about, and I think that they'll be really excited about it. So yeah, I'm super excited for that, and I hope that the kids like it. But reading-wise, update with that, I did want to finishing Born Wicked by Jessica Spotswood. I actually just spent the last 30 minutes tackling the last 50 pages of this. I thought this was a delight. I really liked it. I went in a little bit hesitant because people have said that on reread, reading it now, they weren't the biggest fan, but I still really liked it. I think I mostly liked it because of the romance. I think the romance that's developed throughout this whole read was really what I look for in my paranormal and supernatural romances. So I liked it, or just fantasy in general. It was a romance trope that I really, really liked. I won't spoil it here because I feel like it will ruin the book a little bit for you. But I also just like the focus on sisterhood and the magic that developed. It very much read to me like a Regency romance, and I've been reading a lot of those this year, so it really read like that, but with a magical witchcraft twist. So I'd wind up giving this one 4 stars for review, and I just really enjoyed it. So listening wise has really nothing to do with reading, but if you've been following my journey over the summer when I was really addicted to the Olympics, still a case. I still love gymnastics. But due to the COVID pandemic and the Olympics being pushed a year, other stuff just kept happening. So there's actually a Worlds this week. You'll probably see it out of time. But there's a Worlds the week of October 19th back in Tokyo. And I am a big gymnastics fan, so I've been trying to follow as much as I can. They're not streaming anything until event finals, because there's no team. There's no team. It's just like individuals, and then there's events. So my podcast that I subscribe to has been doing daily episodes, and that's what I've been listening to, because I think starting tomorrow they're going to stream it on the Olympic channel so I can watch it somewhat live. I will probably get spoiled because I do have to go to work, but I'm excited for that. So that's really what I've been doing. I've been listening to all of their pre-episodes, so I am at least somewhat familiar, so when I go watch it on Olympic channel, I won't be totally lost. But Born Wicked was really, really fun. So I'm going to go choose my next read. I have a random number generator here, so I'm going to be choosing books out of 8, because I have 8 books left, and I have a bunch of books, so let's see which book is going to get picked. Pause for a moment. Hoping would get chosen, but it is House of Furies by Madeleine Rue. This is another like older book. Well, it's set in like 1809. I don't know when this book came out, but it follows this girl named Louisa, and she floods a brutal English boarding school and wounds up meeting a young woman that works at a boarding house, and she winds up working there. She thinks she's been saved. She thinks this will be a better environment. But little does she know there's a mysterious owner. The people in this boarding house are exacting justice. She finds a young man that she thinks she deserves to be saved. And in the first book of Madeleine Rue's new Gothic Cara Series, photographs and illustrations help bring to life a terrifying house she'll want to visit and escape from again and again. So, this one's been on my TBR for a while. When did this book come out? This book came out in, let me see. So, 2017. This is probably like one of the last BEAs that I went to, probably. Yeah. So, I'm excited for this one. This one's been on my TBR for a while. I actually just went to an event with Madeleine Rue, and she's coming out with a new book in 2022. So, I'm excited for this one. But this one will be the one that I read next. And hopefully, by the time you see me tomorrow, I will have caught up on my Olympic podcast. That's my goal, and I can make some progress on the Southern's Guide to Slaying Vampires. So hopefully by tomorrow I will have read a little bit of this. This book is about 400 pages, so it might take me the rest of the weekend, but I hope to make some progress. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, friends. Here, I'm back. I just took a shower. I have been reading. I did read about 38 pages in House of Furies. It's not grabbing me as much as I was hoping. So I'm actually going to pick a book out of my cup of books and just see if it's going to intrigue me a little bit more. I do definitely want to read this book. I just don't know if it's my attention or my focus. Ooh, Labyrinth Lost. I don't know if I have this anymore. I don't know why I put this on here. Let me go see if I still have this book. If I do, I'll definitely read it because I haven't I've always wanted to start a Zordaya Cardova book. Well, let me see if I actually have it. I do actually have a physical copy of this, so I think I'm going to start Labyrinth Lost. I got this so long ago, and it's like a witchy series. There's like a companion series, and I'll just read the back. Alex is a bruja, the most powerful witch in a generation, and she hates magic. As her death day celebration, Alex performs a spell to reverse her power, but it backfires, and her whole family vanishes into thin air, leaving her alone with Nuvo, a brewer she can't trust, but who may be Alex's only chance at saving her family. I think I'm gonna pick this book up and see if I like it. I forgot I had it. Honestly, I totally forgot that I had a physical copy of this. So yeah, I'm gonna pick up Labyrinth Lost by Zordaya Cardova. It's a book that's been on my TBR for a while. Like, I've had this again. I never read my witchy novels, and then they just sort of accumulate. I just finished Born Wicked, and I really liked it. So this one's definitely a bit more diverse, and Jeff has a little bit more love. It's also a little bit more modern, like it's published relatively recently. So yeah, I'm gonna pick up Labyrinth Lost, and I will update you guys when I read about 50 pages, and hopefully it will capture me a little bit more than House of Furies. I'm not gonna DNF House of Furies. I might actually see if my library has the audiobook for it. Maybe I could pick it up through audio. So yeah, I will talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Lori here. I'm back. I was hoping to finish watching my gymnastic competition today, but my DVR failed to tape it. So now I don't know. I mean, I know who won. Unfortunately, I totally got spoiled. It's hard when it's taking place in Japan, and I'm in New York. So like, whatever happens in Japan, unless like I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and watch it, I will be spoiled, and I had to go to work. So didn't really go the way I planned. I think I'm going to avoid Twitter tomorrow at my job and just see if I cannot get spoiled on the men's go around. But yeah, I got spoiled, and that was not as fun as I was hoping. But I get back from work. I definitely am liking Labyrinth Lost a lot. I'm about 77 pages in. I'm really liking it. But you basically follow this girl named Alex. She's a bruja, but she's very like hesitant to be a bruja. She kind of reminds me a little bit of the Born Wicked character because she's very like anti anything about being a bruja. She had a really traumatic past. Her dad left the family, and she's convinced that it's connected to her powers that is sort of growing. And she doesn't want to be a witch. And I think she's going to make a very, very dangerous choice that's going to leave her pretty isolated, at least from what the summary says. So I'm excited to keep reading. But I read it pretty quickly, and I'm happy that I'm really liking it. Again, it reminds me a lot of Born Wicked, but I am liking it. I also like the diversity as well, because normally witch books are very white. So it's good that this book has a little bit more diversity. I also do like the Latinx culture. Another book I read recently, I can't remember if it was this year or next year, was the Sugar Magic book series, which also is very focused on Latina culture, and brujas. So I really am liking this book. I'm gonna read a little bit more. I'm gonna try to find the clips for the gymnastic competition, but I feel like I'm gonna have to wait until tomorrow. So I will update you guys when I read a little bit more of Labyrinth Lost. Bye, friends. Lori here. I'm back. It's about 7:24. I did wind up getting up to page 100 in Labyrinth Lost. This is definitely not a book I thought about. Like, I thought it was. This is not a book Lori here. I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up reading about 100 pages in Labyrinth Lost. Again, sort of like Anna Dressed in Blood. It's Born Wicked. These are books I really did not. I think I went in with an incorrect assumption about what I was going to expect, but I'm pleased with it. So this follows a character named Alex, and again, as I said in the previous clip, she's really adamant that she doesn't want to be a bruja. Like, she has a lot of issues with that, and it's just not something she feels really comfortable in. She makes a choice, and her actions wind up sending her family to basically some version of hell, I will say. I think that's where they are. And she's sort of forced to work with a young man that she's met recently to try to get her family back. And it's super compelling. Like, I'm really intrigued. I'm really, really liking it quite a bit. So this will be my goal book for tomorrow. Unfortunately, as in the previous clip, I was unable to watch the gymnastic competition I was hoping to watch. So I think I'm just gonna watch some old gymnastics videos. I have the 2020 Olympics was really it was it was amazing to see them compete, and I'm just craving. I'm gonna rewatch Suni Lee take gold. I might watch a couple of much older Simone Biles competitions. She is definitely my favorite gymnast of all time, and maybe hope someone posts the link to it because my DVR didn't take the whole thing. So I know that eventually it will go on somewhere, but I'm a little bit impatient and I want to watch it now. But I hope to update you this weekend a bit. Was hopefully going to start a new reading vlog when I'm done with this one, but I got unexpected news that I might have to go to a funeral. Someone that my parents and I know passed away recently, which was sad. We sort of knew it was coming, but it was still sad. So we're just waiting for all of like the events to sort of like be planned and stuff, and I might have to go call into my job and stuff like that. So there's just a lot of stuff happening this weekend, but I'm home this weekend, which I haven't been the past couple of weekends. I was actually going to go to yoga today, but I didn't wind up going, so hopefully I get to go this weekend. But I will check in with you guys tomorrow. I don't know if I can I don't know what I'm going to watch or listen to tomorrow at all, because I have to also film and prep film and stuff like that. So sorry for the weird update. It just was not, this day was just ended really awkwardly. So, but I will definitely update you guys tomorrow, and hopefully I will have read another 100 pages when I see you guys. Bye, friends. Lori here. I'm about to do some filming, so I'm sort of organizing everything. But I am pleased to report that I did wind up getting up to page 153 in Labyrinth of the Lost. Again, this is a book that's really surprising me. It's not at all what I expected. It reminds me a lot of reading a Percy Jackson book. It reminds me a lot of reading a specific Percy Jackson book, but I don't want to give too many spoilers for the Percy Jackson verse in case you haven't read it yet. But it very much has to do with an underworld, and I love that. I like that a lot. There's also a small group of cast of characters, but the environment keeps changing. I really like Zordaya Cordova's writing style. I think I read something else by her, and I can't remember what it was. But I do really like her writing style, quite a bit. I've seen her a million times at Books of Wonder. Before the pandemic, she was there a lot. I think she lives in New York, or once lived in New York, because she was in a bunch of signings a couple of years ago. But I'm gonna go do some filming. I have to film some videos this weekend. It might be a little bit of a crazy weekend with just in general. But I want to get some filming done. So I'm gonna go film, and I'll talk to you guys when I'm done reading, or when I'm done filming, because I have to do a bunch of little things. Bye, friends. I just got home from going to yoga. I also read a little bit more in Labyrinth Lost by Zordaya Cardova. I'm really going to spend most of today catching up on gymnastics. I'm probably going to try to read and see if I could tackle most of this book. And I'm going to craft a little bit later. It's been my first weekend that I've not been running around the city like a crazy person, so it's just nice to relax. And I love watching gymnastics, but these competitions are on at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I always watch it so much later, and then I'm ultimately spoiled on every single event. So, but I'm still excited to watch it and start the road to Paris, which is really exciting. So I'm gonna go read a little bit more of Labyrinth Lost, and when I read about 50 more pages, I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends. Here, just doing a quick update today. I am watching men's gymnastics, which these events were 4 hours, because men's have 2 more events than women do, so it's just a long competition. And I do have to watch the live event finals in a couple of hours, so I'm going to try to finish this, hopefully, because I fast forward through the commercials. But I did want to say that I wound up getting up to page 203 and Labyrinth Lost. This is another book, sort of like Anna Dressed in Blood and Born Wicked, that I wasn't necessarily expecting the plot, but I'm really liking it. It's giving me massive Percy Jackson vibes, which I have loved. I love Percy Jackson. It reminds me a lot of House of Hades, that book. I said this when I was reading Keeper of the Night, that I read that recently as well, and it gave me massive Percy Jackson vibes. But I just like the characters in it. There also has developed a trio of characters, which is a big trope of mine that I do like in reads. I like that there's 3 characters that you're kind of following. Alex is a very different type of heroine, but she's very similar to the main character in Born Wicked. So I've just been reading a lot of witchcraft novels, and I'm loving it. So, but I'm gonna probably give you guys an update when I get up to page 250. We'll touch base then. But bye, friends. So far, I'm really liking it though. Lori here, I'm back. I'm going to take a little bit of a reading break and try to get some crafting done as I wait for the event finals, because the event finals are quite a bit, and I do have to start getting my Christmas crafting done. But I did wind up getting up to page 236 in Labyrinth Lost by Zordaya Cardova. I am really liking this book quite a bit. It's definitely not what I was expecting sort of going into it, but it's very, very fun, engaging read, very, very quick paced, which I'm definitely liking. I'm also watching some Olympic sports for the winter because that's where we are. We are going to the Olympics, feels like so quick because everything got pushed back, and now we have the Winter Olympics next year. So I am going to go scrapbook for a little bit and try to make some Christmas crafting progress, and when I get back to reading, I will definitely update you. My goal is to finish Labyrinth Lost tonight, but I want to at least do 2 calendars today. That's my big goal. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. For the climax of this read, I have about maybe 70 more pages left. I really am liking it. It's very, very fun. It really does remind me a lot of Percy Jackson, the way the story is structured, especially the underworld element. I also think it is interesting that the character is so fearful of magic, and I hope in future books that sort of is expanded on a little bit more. It's also very focused on her past and the connection to her family and her actions she took that sent her family to the underworld. I also do I still am really liking the trio of characters that developed. And the dynamics are just great. I'm really, really liking the story quite a bit. So I'm going to read it. I'm probably going to finish the rest of this and then I'll give you guys a check-in. But so far, really liking it. I would probably say right now it's probably a 4-star read for me, but really enjoyable and a very, very quick pace read. Lori here, I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up finishing Labyrinth Lost by Zordaya Cardova. I really like this book. I thought it was a fun, witchy read, but really more focusing on, finding your place in your family, not always feeling like you belong. I love the underworld element. I love the quest element. I love the characters that we got to meet. I definitely want to check out Brujaborn because I think each book follows a different sister. So definitely, I think I own it. I'm going to have to look for it, but I think I got that one at the same signing I got this one signed at. So yeah, I really like this one. Also, a little bit of a wrap up for this reading vlog. I also finished reading Born Wicked earlier this week. I really did like this one. This one was probably, these two I really like. They were pretty equal. These books reminded me a lot of each other as well. And then I also DNF'd for the moment House of Furies, and I also made a little bit more progress on A Southern's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I just was listening to a lot of podcasts this week that were about gymnastics and not my audiobooks, but it's okay. So I'm going to go start my next reading vlog, what is going to be some newer books that just came out. These were definitely some older reads, and that was the purpose of this. I have yet to decide if I'm going to keep House of Furies on my shelves. I don't know yet, but these I'm happy I finally got around to reading. Let me know in the comments what are some eerie and creepy books you read this week or you read in this fall, and I'll talk to you guys for my next video. Bye, friends.